I have a boring life according to society. Boredom, a state of having nothing to do and feeling unexcited and unstimulated. Society has made us feel like boredom is a completely negative thing. We have to fill up the space all the time. When we're doing nothing, we have to fill up the space. But what if being bored or being boring is not such a bad thing? If you're a guy, you should have buddies and you should go out and have drinks, maybe after work, hang out, watch a game together, have fun, talk about girls, talk about cars. If you're a girl or a lady, then you have ladies' nights out, right? You have pajama parties and you go on all girls trips together and have fun and gossip and chat and do wonderful things together. But I don't do any of those things. I've tried a few of those things in the past. I've partied, okay, but those weren't the things that brought me fulfillment. It was moments when I was alone, when I was by myself, when I was able to think. That's when I found joy. And when we look at what society has been showing us on social media and we compare our lives, I don't know about you, but when I compare myself, I feel sometimes like, oh, my life is boring. I don't have that much going on in my life. I don't have so much or so many activities that I do. I don't belong to many clubs. I don't go on weekend trips with my girls. I don't have girls to go on weekend trips with. But actually, that is not such a bad thing. Boredom does come with its perks. Being bored or having a boring life can help you realign with yourself, can help you discover who you really are and stay true to yourself and live in the present. I think that's the main thing, being able to live in the present and not just rush through the present. So a typical day for me, a typical boring week for me would be go to work, get back from work, maybe go to the supermarket, get something, make dinner, have dinner with my family, sit down in front of the TV and watch something on Netflix, watch the news or something like that, and then go to bed. Typical weekend for me could be doing some cleaning, catching up on some reading, getting my hair braided or washed. My me time is when I do my hair. I love that moment because I can reflect, I can be introspective during that time, or I can just catch up on some binge worthy TV show. When we think about a boring life, many of us also think about FOMO, right? We're missing out. We feel like we're missing out because when we look on the internet, we see a lot of people doing so many things that we feel like there must be something missing from our lives. There must be something we're not doing. We should do more. We ought to do more. We ought to go out more. We ought to meet more friends. But in reality, we are not all the same, right? People approach boredom in different ways. So for some people, when they are bored, it is a time where they have to think, where maybe they have to think about failures, maybe they have to think about relationships or think about their future. And not many people are good at being introspective. Not many people are good at being able to be with themselves, to be by themselves. They run away from themselves. And so they look for ways to fill up all of those gaps, those missing gaps. And they never really truly find contentment. Maybe not all. Some people might do because we are all different. I'm an introvert and you might be an extrovert. And for an extrovert, filling up those quiet moments is really important. And maybe it does bring them fulfillment. But for me as an introvert, and if you are an introvert, filling up those moments actually drain us out. It actually gets us burnt out, and we need that meantime, those alone time, those quiet moments in order to recharge. We actually do recharge during those quiet moments, and that's absolutely fine. So I want to say thank you to everyone who commented and supported me on my video about having no friends, because that's one of the reasons, that I felt that there was something wrong with me, because I felt maybe my life was boring. And it did reassure me to find out that there are so many people out there in similar situations, and they find beauty in their life and they find contentment not having a large group of friends. For me, I'd rather have one friend with a deep connection, that I can find a deep connection with. And by deep connection, I mean someone I can talk to, because I'm a learner, right? I love to learn. And when I learn things, I get excited about sharing what I learn. So if I have someone that I can just share it with, I'm content, you know? So it doesn't matter whether we agree on ideas or not. I'm actually super thrilled when somebody doesn't agree with me and we can have a deep conversation about a topic, because I learn more. You know, maybe I could be persuaded to go on the other person's side, or maybe I can persuade the other person to come on my side. And that brings me a lot of fulfillment, you know, being able to discuss issues, world issues, being able to discuss maybe just about the planet, you know, why are we on earth, you know, questions like that. I love deep conversations, and I don't really care for shallow, um shallow interactions. That doesn't do anything for me, you know, just chit chatting and gossiping about people, or talking about your day, or what you did, what you bought, and that's nothing for me. That's nothing to me. I don't know about you. What do you find stimulating? What kind of conversations do you find stimulating? I'd love to know. So, thank you to everyone who supported me, and to those people who also wrote some negative comments. Actually, it made me realize that I'm on the right track. So, I had a few people write things like, you should get a grip on your life. To cut a long story short, you know, stop thinking about your childhood. You're an adult. Behave like an adult. Or things like, you don't deserve to have friends because you are too blunt, or something like that. When I said I was blunt, I didn't mean blunt like rude, okay? I meant blunt like I would rather have truthful conversations than have super I'd rather have truthful conversations than have conversations that just, you know, run around the topic. I can be diplomatic. I can hold my tongue, okay? But for so long, only for so long, you know? So if I have someone coming up to me and telling me about stories about how they're in an abusive relationship, and I just take it like, okay, okay. At some point, I'm going to tell you, hey, you cannot continue this way. That's not good for you. That's not healthy for you. Okay. And some people don't like to hear the truth. That's the thing. And so when you tell a friend the truth and they move away, perhaps they are not worth being in your life. Right. So a big thank you to every one of you who have joined my community. Some of you subscribed because you resonated with my story, you resonated with that story, and I'm so glad. And I hope that you also resonate with this story, because if you are someone who doesn't have a lot of friends, perhaps you have moments where you feel like you are leading a boring life as well. Maybe not, I don't know about you, but it does happen to me sometimes. But I think that's also fine. It is this comparison with other people's lives that led me to YouTube, actually. So I stopped trying to grow on Instagram. I don't post a lot on Instagram. I still have Instagram, but I felt like it was too fast paced for me. And I also felt like it wasn't real enough for me. It wasn't as realistic as I would have liked it to be. So the relationship that I have with Instagram is kind of like the relationship that I had with some of the friends in my past. So very surface relationship, very quick, very, you know, in the moment fun, you know, that adrenaline rush that you get in the moment when you're scrolling, you know, or that adrenaline rush that you might get in the moment when you go out for a drink with your friends, and then boom, it's gone. And you're seeking the next adrenaline and shot. You're seeking the next excitement, the next thrill, and you keep scrolling and scrolling, or you keep going out and drinking and partying. And for me, I think one of the things that excites me about partying actually is dancing. I love dancing. Okay, so for if I have to go out and not dance, I don't find any fun in that. Most of the in my past, most of the most memorable moments for me from partying in the past is actually the moments when I was on the dance floor with my friends and we were, you know, digging it down, boogieing down. Those were the special moments for me because I enjoy dancing, just like I enjoy reading and I enjoy me time. And when I travel, for example, and I show people or I post things about my travels, many people don't get it because maybe they find the things that I post boring. Because I travel with my husband on a motorcycle, and for me, just seeing a road winding like a snake and just stretching into the horizon just gets my blood going. It fills me with a lot of awe. It fills me with awe. It fills me with wonder because I love to see nature. I love to see something different. I love to go to the usual places, of course, because that's what makes a place iconic, right? I would love to go to those places that are Instagrammable as well. Those places are popular because that's what makes those cities or countries popular to other people. That's what makes it special, right? But I also like to see the mundane. I like to see what the streets look like. I like to see what the local people eat. I like to see the countryside as well. And so when I post these things, not many people, my friends and family, so when I say friends, I mean people, friends, online friends, and my family, not many of them find as much excitement in those things as I do. And I realized that it's just because people want the fast, flashy, stuff. Those things that everybody else seem to go for, those things that everybody else seem to be interested in. And that's not what I'm all about. And that's why, again, I love YouTube because on YouTube, I don't have to go fast. I can be slow. I can make a long video, and people who actually care can take the time to watch my videos, comment, so interact with me, and all is well with the world. So I don't need Facebook, I don't need Instagram, and that's why I've never been able to do anything on TikTok. I had opened a TikTok a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago. I tried it one day, I just couldn't. Another day, maybe a few weeks later, and I just couldn't. It's just not for me. It can be for somebody else, and that's fine, but it's just not for me. And I guess it's not for you either if you're watching this video. So when we look at a boring life, or when we compare ourselves to other people and we see that things seem to be going fast for them, things seem to be going well for them, and we regard ourselves as boring, I think it's a moment for us to actually take stock of our lives, count our blessings, think about what the things that truly make us happy. Are we doing things because it makes us happy, or are we doing things because it would look like we are happy to other people? If it's the second, if it's the latter, then there's no point in doing it. We only live once. We can't live backwards. We can't change the past, right? So why not live in the moment and enjoy the moment? So if it's being in silence with yourself and being able to have conversations in your head, okay, then do it, right? So, having a boring life can also be beneficial because when your mind is at rest, when you're not thinking about the next thing to do, you are able to connect with your creative side as well, right? You're able to self reflect, and you're able to perhaps also get in touch with interests that maybe you may have forgotten about, or create new interests, find new interests. Having a boring life also means that you have a better tendency towards problem solving because you have the time and you have the space in your mind to be able to think about solutions or different solutions to a problem. You're not in a hurry to solve a problem. You live in the moment. You are usually also able to make better decisions because you've had time to think over it. Now, you do have the risk. I sometimes feel this way, like I overthink things, but then that is just a sign that you need to get into action. When you start overthinking, it means that, okay, now it's time to get into action. So, what are the things that you do in your life that you feel is boring? Can you look at those things now and think, okay, these things aren't actually boring. They are actually things that I do enjoy doing and that I want to do. That's the difference. You want to do something versus you are doing things because other people are doing it, right? So think about it deeply and let me know. I would like to know about your thoughts. Do you have a boring life like I do? Or do you think that your life is fulfilling as it is? And what makes your life actually fulfilling? Let me know in the comment section. Until the next time, ciao, ciao.